Well, hello again. I thought I'd show you some of the improvements that I think are improvements that I made to my 2016 Roadtrek Simplicity motorhome. Let me take you on the tour. First thing I did was I put in full-length running boards on this side and the driver's door running board on the other side, make it a little easier to get in and out of the doors. Originally they came with just a Laverne running boards just on the main entry door here. It was very simple to do. I used the existing brackets for the old running board and then just had to buy the bracketry for the driver's side and the passenger side, and it was an easy bolt-on affair. Other thing we did, one of the biggest problems I had is anybody that knows the Simplicity knows that the power is hanging down underneath the bumper, and it hangs down lower than the hitch, and I knew that was going to get ripped off, and sure enough, the very first trip I was up in the mountains and it ripped. When I got back, I looked around for a place to put it and found that there's lots of space right there in the corner of that there bumper. I just had to buy a new outlet, same brand, except it has a plastic cover on the back so the wires aren't exposed. Same problem with the water on Simplicity. They hang that water way down low, so what I did was just tuck it up right here. It would have fit into the bumper also, but by doing it this way I did not have to cut any piping. I was able just to bend it right up in place, and now it's higher than the hitch, so the hitch hits first. The other thing I did was add a 2700 watt powerhouse generator, which are hardwired directly into the house wiring through a transfer switch. So I bypassed the inverter, and that is the hard wiring. If I do want to charge the battery though, I do have to plug in to the plug, and there's a little short appliance cord I run around and plug into the outlet here, and so I'm charging my batteries. By bypassing the inverter, which I had to do in order to run the air conditioning, the air conditioner would not operate through the inverter. Once I bypassed it, it runs fine running off of this generator. Also built a bracket. It bolts onto the hitch using the hitch bolts. It's a removable bracket. I can take the generator off. It's got locking hitch pins in there. It's got a locking hitch pin in there. Hopefully nobody will pick it up and run off with it. Next step is to build a nice diamond plate cover for the generator. Maybe mount the barbecue on top of it. But for now I'm using a little cloth cover, and that works. Let's go inside and I'll show you some of the other things that I did. One of the things I hated was in the middle of the night when that thing came on, it made a lot of noise and I went on and off all night on a cold night. So I popped in a catalytic heater. Makes no noise at all. It just burns on that catalytic pad. This one actually is on a pivot, where it will pivot and spin out, so I can spin it completely around if I want to, and it'll point out into the hallway there. And that is covered with a little cover here. It needs to be a little higher. I probably should have raised it, but I can't because of this table that Simplicity uses. I'm going to have to cut the table down, but I think I'm going to take that up about 3 inches higher because it's a little too close to the floor. The floor gets a little warm for my comfort, although it's not so warm you can't touch it. But the next step is to cut this table down slightly, raise the heater up a little bit higher than what it is now. And that just tucks right back into there like that. And as we go inside, I got rid of those dumb pull-across fans that they had on the front window and opted to go with two systems. One is just one of those reflectors that works real well. That's custom fit for the window. And the other is a curtain, so I'll show you in a minute. But behind here, I took that black plastic off and I cut that so I can see the water level as I'm filling it. Just makes it a lot easier to fill. The water level's way down low there right now, but that just makes it easier for me to fill. Other thing, that's just Velcroed, and just Velcro it up here. Very simple. It's a heavy dark curtain, and that way I can kind of do some incognito camping if I want to. Don't have the windows across the front, and that just tucks in behind this driver's seat here. If I had more than one hand, just like that. Inside the bathroom, my wife's favorite addition, porcelain toilet. And also spun it around, so now you sit with your feet out in the aisle instead of up underneath that sink. There is actually a curtain that comes across here, and I'll show you that right now. Shower curtain used to be in this corner. Ran along this track. And it's right tight up against you. These doors stay open, so I moved the shower curtain over just using hooks. So the shower curtain now follows the door around. And when you're using the door, but these doors stay open on an angle like so. So what happens is the shower curtain just follows the door around on these hooks and these hooks, and Velcro on the walls, so it gives you a lot more room. Also, I can pull the shower curtain across, hook it onto that first hook right there, and now I have got privacy right there. Can't shower that way because the shower curtain's hanging out into the floor, but it gives you a lot of privacy inside. And coming back to the back, my best improvement, my favorite improvement, is the two Battleborn batteries. These are lithium iron phosphate batteries from a company called Battleborn up in Reno, Nevada. Great people to work with. Originally I just tried 100 amp to replace the undercarriage 100 amp, and it just wasn't enough to run my microwave in the morning. So I opted to go with the two 100 amp 12 volt batteries. They fit perfect in this shoe compartment. There's another video on how I installed that. And there's that transfer switch that goes back to the generator on the back. But I highly recommend Battleborn batteries. That was probably the best improvement I did. Before, I'd barely get through a night, had no power in the morning to do anything without starting the generator or the engine. With these two batteries, I can do everything I want to do in the evening, get through the night, cook breakfast in the morning, and I've only used 25 to 30% of the full 200 amps that I get out of this battery versus the 50 amps I got out of the original. Anyway, that's all the improvements to my Roadtrek, and I do thank you very much for watching.